So if you're watching this right now, I need you to subscribe and like the video. We are over 100 subscribers now, and we want to continue to bring to you the best, the realest guests on our podcast. And the only way it can happen is by you clicking subscribe. So I am sat next to the one, the only Ankush Kumar. Bro, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Pleasure to have you, bro.
Good, man. I'm happy that you've allowed us into your place as well.
No. Thank you, man.
You know, I know quite a lot about you and also about, you know, your father. But who are you for our listeners?
So I am a business owner. We own New Cross Motor Company in Wolverhampton, right next to New Cross Hospital. And I've been doing this for 20 years, a long time. So happy to share a lot of knowledge with you today.
And we're about to dive into the mind behind the success.
Let's do it.
Bro, it's really nice in here, man. I know that you've got like a few vehicles in this. Like, what is this about? Do you ride a bike then? Or?
So I don't personally ride a bike. They're too dangerous for me, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're deadly, bro. But that belongs to my father.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So there's a story behind that. My father's retired now. Like he's taking the back seat.
Yeah.
So I'm in the driver's seat. But he's that was his, as he was coming up in business, that was his kind of like, he bought that, he purchased it with the first bit of success he had.
Okay.
So it means a lot to him. That's the reason why it's staying here as a constant reminder.
So when you open up the shutters on a normal day, and you walk in here and you see that, what does that do for you?
That tells me the journey, bro. It tells me about where we came from and what it took to get, just a little toy like that. You know what I mean? That might not mean something to someone, but to us that has
everything.
A sentimental value. So that to me looks like, how the struggles were in the business, what we had to do to buy a little machine like that. So I always look at that as a constant reminder. I don't think it will ever go.
Ever?
Nah.
No way?
Nah.
So if someone said to you, £1 million.
Well, I guess
everything has a price.
Everything has a price. You know what it is, Sam? Everything has a price. You're right. Everything's for sale as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the right price, yes, but at the same time, does that price outweigh the sentimental value? It's a yes or no. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to go into a bit of a game, but before we go into a game, let's just get to know you a little bit better. So, how old are you? How long have you been a mechanic for? Stuff like that first. So.
Of course. So I am 32 years old.
Mad.
So I'm actually not a mechanic. So
oh wow.
Yeah. I'm not. Well, I am. I do work on cars.
Yeah.
That has been my upbringing, working with my dad and stuff like that, being in this business. But obviously we're like business owners, so that's kind of where we stand. But yeah, essentially we've got an automotive business. So we specialize in automotive repair, servicing, MOTs, and all your nitty and gritty, car stuff, man. It's it's
How long have you been here? Like
we've been on this site for about 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah, long time.
How did you come up with the name? Was the name because of the road or the hospital? Or
yeah, so we wanted to play on the location. So, we had different ideas of like brand names and stuff like that.
Do you remember any of them?
Yeah, this used to be a long time. It used to be called White House Motor Company.
White House Motor Company?
Yeah, that's what it used to be called.
Mad.
Yeah, but this was going back, 20 plus years. And then obviously there was a lot of people interested in that New Cross Motor Company name.
Okay.
Purely because we're right next to New Cross Hospital.
Can't miss it.
So, the location, it just marries. You know what I mean? As soon as you mention the name New Cross Motors, the automatic association is New Cross Hospital. Yeah. So we're planting the location. People can find us very easily because they know exactly where we are.
So when we speak about New Cross Motors,
yeah,
do you do like any discounts or anything for?
We do, yeah. So discounts is a bit hard to offer because it's with cars and repairs, everything's so varied. So there's not like one price that fits everyone's car.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? So it's very hard to, but what we do is we offer an NHS discount on major work.
I love that.
So, it's hard to offer it on like your simple MOT or your simple service. But, when a customer comes in and they've got like catastrophic failure with their car and it's really labor intensive, we will sacrifice our price, for them to give them a better price.
Love that. It's always about giving back to the people, man.
100%.
I think people get this so confused. Normally people think that just because you've got like a massive premises and you've got this level of success that you automatically can just give things away for free. It don't work like that. You still got your own bills to pay.
100%.
So, I'm glad that you've got to that point where you are still, making sure that the heart of the business is about helping the people. It's really important, very important. All right, so a game that I want to jump in with you, okay? I had a bit of a think about this because there's a few games that I wanted to play. But the game that I'm going to play with you is this or that. Okay?
This or that, okay.
Do you know how it works?
Nah.
So I will give you 2 options, maybe 3 options, and you will say either this or you will say either that. But you can't think about it, so it has to be like, boom, straight to the point, okay? Okay, so this or that, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Beach vacation or mountain retreat?
Mountain retreat.
Okay, why mountain retreat?
It's a challenge, man.
Okay. Reading books or watching movies?
Watching movies.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Interesting. Morning person or night owl?
A bit of both, you know.
Yeah, don't wear like that, boy. This or that.
I'd say morning, man.
Morning person. City life or countryside living?
City.
Love that. Fast, but you like fast paced?
Yeah.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Mad. Traveling by car or by plane? It's a really easy answer, isn't it? Really.
Traveling. That's a hard one. That is.
Really?
Yeah, man.
You're a business owner of a mechanic.
Yeah, traveling by car, man. I have to.
Yeah,
it has to be. Yeah,
you have to back yourself up.
Yeah.
So I was on my way here today, and I was thinking, okay, I need to create a special question for you, and for me, this is a very important question. It took a lot of time to get this question created for you. Obviously, I know a lot about you already, and I just wanted to make sure that I could just ask you it in the perfect way. So this is the question right here. Here we go. If you had one utensil to use for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I would say it would be a knife.
A knife?
Yeah.
Okay, how are you going to eat soup?
How can I eat soup? yeah, that's true, man.
Okay, you're still backing a knife?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we're going to dive into it now then, okay? So, as I said, I know quite a lot about yourself. For me, one of the most selfless things that you and your dad did for me was, I remember when we went into lockdown and I was in a financial position. My dad was struggling, had this car on finance, and I'm thinking, yo, how on earth am I going to afford to pay for this car as we enter into this lockdown that we may never come out? And I remember, Ben, I didn't know you at that point. I literally remember specifically, I didn't know you. Maybe you did 1 work or 2 works on my car at that point, but I didn't know you enough to sit down with you and have a good conversation, like that.
Yeah.
So I knew you had good energy, bro, from the get-go.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
Mad in it.
Yeah.
And bro, that position there changed my whole perspective on you, likefully. And your dad, have a lot of time for your dad. And I came here and your dad was there and I spoke with him about it and he's like, yeah, I'll buy it. And I was like, huh? He's like, nah, I'll buy it off you. I was like, huh? He's like, how much you want? I was like, well, this is how much left. Like, yeah, I'll buy it. I literally remember it yesterday.
Yeah.
Your dad don't owe me anything, bro.
Yeah.
And I remember one specific thing that he said to me. He says, I will buy it off you for what you want for it. And then when we come out of lockdown, if you want to buy it back in a 1.5 years, you can buy it back for whatever you want. But I remember specifically, and I was like, people like that exist.
100%, man. 100%.
It literally took me to a point where I was like, huh? When you think about God and putting things in and how life can work.
Yeah.
Right person, right time.
100%, man. That's it.
And this is why, for me, this interview here is so important. It's as important as my barber, as I said.
Yeah.
It's family, bro. Like that. And off the back of that, you and your dad, even little things in the process of buying that car for me.
100%.
You sat with me, you invited me into your house, I met your mom.
Yeah.
But it was different level.
100%. That's what it was about, really, bro. Because obviously, at that specific time, it was about getting to know you as a person. As we didn't know you either, so we didn't know your circumstance, why you were selling the car. Yeah. You could have been anyone. There could have been something dramatically wrong with the car, but we sat down with you and we spoke to you. We said, Sam, why do you want to sell the car?
Yeah.
And you explained to us why you want to sell it, and you said you didn't really want to let go of it.
Yeah.
You know
correct.
what I mean? So
mad.
Yeah. I remember it was yesterday, bro. And I thought, this guy's a genuine guy, man.
Yeah.
He actually wants to keep this car. You know what I mean? And I wasn't the type of person, or my dad wasn't the type of person to buy it cheap, make a profit.
No.
And it was more so we actually kept that in. We kept that for ourselves for a bit. We did sell it eventually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But not even at a profit. You know what I mean? So, but we bought that basically on the fact that to put your own mind at ease, because if you ever wanted it back, it was there, man. You know what I mean? It was all.
But you see that act there, bro.
Yeah.
When we look at life and we look at the expectations, I don't have any expectation on people anymore.
100%.
I'm tired of being let down.
Yeah.
So when I come it didn't come with the expectation that was going to be the outcome.
Yeah.
I was already coming with a losing mind.
Yeah.
It was how much of a loss do I want to make?
Yeah.
And
of course,
to be met with your dad at that point, who didn't know me, like he's just a joke with it. I remember, bro, like little things, like busting random jokes with me, bro.
100%, man. Yeah.
That energy, bro. The closest to that I remember is like my dad and a man called Apostle. Like that generation of people where they are so happy.
Yeah.
You know, and as I said, for me, it was like such a selfless act that
100%.
I had to. Anyone that talks about mechanics, but I'm like, yo, New Cross Motors is the only place I go. And like the amount, but my friend, if they're my friend, they come here.
Yeah.
It's a fact, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have a friend that doesn't come to you.
100%. Yeah.
Do you know like that?
Yeah.
Like my barber, my PTs that I'm friends with, my family, like if they're really my people, they're only coming here.
No, 100, yeah.
You know
what it is? That kind of relationship that we have with our customers, I know we have that with you, but we try and, it's hard to do it with everyone, but we do try and enforce that, you know, like embed that with all of our customers, whether they're selling a car, whether they, you know, they're trying to get the car back on the road, they're trying to repair it, they're trying to just service it, you know what I mean? So we just try and build that bond with the customer. It's all about trust. And, you know, from that interaction alone, we had trust immediately.
Mad.
You know
was that
what I
like
mean?
5.5 years ago?
Yeah. That's
crazy.
That's it. You know what I mean?
And for, you know what's interesting about it is like I've seen as well, you grow. And the business go like, even little things like, oh, bro, I could go even deeper. Like when you were doing upstairs, you're like, yo, Sam,
come check it.
Yeah. Mad, bro. And like from the outside, you think, how can you have a relationship like that with your mechanic? It's like absurd, isn't it? It's like people don't do that.
When we built this place, so we renovated this place in lockdown. And like, you know, it was a big thing for us, man. Like we reinvested literally our life savings, you know, everything that we made from the business, we put it back in. Yeah, and so that passion carried. So, you know, we gave you the tour, but I was getting sick of it, bro, because I was giving tours to every single customer. But, you know, that's like, we wanted to share the journey, you know what I mean? So like, there's no point achieving something in life without sharing it. That's the main thing. So this was a big achievement for us, building upstairs, the extra space, the extra bay, you know what I mean? And, you know, kitting the office out and stuff like that. We wanted to connect with our customers, you know what I mean? It's like, because at the end of the day, we've got them to thank for. You know what I mean? It's people like them that support us, you know, so like we support them as well, just as equally.
When we speak about like cars, I've seen you have like a lot of cars. I remember you had the M4, the gold one, and you had like the lights that come on the steering wheel.
M4 steering wheel, man.
Yo,
nasty that one.
How many cars do you think that you've owned?
Oh God, man, flipping out. I think from before you've known me as well, I've probably had
from since you've had a driver's license.
From when I've had a driver's license, I've probably owned over, I'd say in the 50s.
Really?
Yeah.
How long have you had your license for?
It's been, so I'm 32 now, so I would have got it when I was 18. So yeah, like over like, is it 20 years?
14 years. In 14 years?
Yeah, 50 cars.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
That's probably just because of like, you know, where we are as a business. Obviously, I'm into cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was involved in like buying and selling cars at one time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I built that up as well. That was like a second business that I had as well. So, you know, I was trading cars. Like,
out of like all of your cars, what's your favorite been so far?
You know what? To ask that to a car enthusiast, it's a very difficult question. Really? Yeah. To this day, I wouldn't be able to say what my favorite car was.
Do you have like a top 3 maybe or top 4?
Top 3. I'd say the M4 was up there.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
The way that was like barking.
Yeah. And you know what? That car meant a lot to me because like it was a big achievement. You know what I mean? That car was like, that was like the dream car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I was a youngster, when I was a kid, when I was 16, you know, younger than that, when I was 10, I used to look at M3s and M4s. I was obsessed with them, bro. I was absolutely obsessed with them. I was like, you know what do I need to do to make that happen, man? I was like, I need to do something to make that happen. And when that day hit and I got the car, you know, I kept that for like 2 years, probably the longest.
Yeah, you kept that for time.
Yeah, I kept that for a long time. And 2 years is a long time for me.
Yeah.
Because I normally change them every 6 months or, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? So, yeah, M4 was number 1. I had a C63 before that.
Did I see that?
I was a silver C63.
Don't think I ever saw that.
Yeah. I don't think you might have saw it. Like I didn't have it for too long because I used to drink fuel. Bro.
Really? More than the M4?
Yeah, more than the M4. That was the worst car to date on fuel. Like it was a 6.2 litre V8. C63, yeah, and it just used to drink fuel.
MPG?
Oh, flipping like single figures, bro. 10. Like, you know, on a bad day it was 6. You know, if you're looking after it, which you never do, which you never do, yeah, you might get 15. Yeah.
So out of that and the R8.
Yeah, so R8 came along by accident.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's see the story on that.
So that came out by accident. So as you said, I was buying and selling cars. So I'd built my goal, with these cars when I was buying and selling them was to kind of like move up the ranks.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So like it started small, bro. Like, you see, I'm telling you about all the nice stuff,
Yeah.
but before it was like bangers, bro. You know what I mean? It was like, cheap 1,000, 2,000 pound cars.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? But I'd sell that 2,000 pound car. I'll make a £1,000 profit. So I've got 3,000.
Yeah.
I put that 3,000 directly into the next car.
Okay.
Directly into the next car. And then it just had a chain effect, bro.
Yeah, built up.
So what happened was I actually wanted to pursue that as a business.
Okay.
I was so good at it, bro.
On the side of this or?
On the side of this, yeah, because it just made sense. Like we own a garage, so like we buy a car, like I wanted to get it up to a standard. You know what I mean? So we've got the platform here, we've got the ramps here, we've got the technicians here. So I thought, you know what, this is a match made in heaven. You know what I mean? So I wanted to pursue that. And eventually that led to where I am today. But I did have to sacrifice that business. You know what I mean? As I said, I was working with my dad. We had this 50-50, me and him. And he unfortunately suffered a stroke. So
what was life like when your dad suffered a stroke?
It was nice, man. I had it nice then. It was quite easy because we were sharing responsibility. A lot of arguments between us. You know what I mean? A lot of sticky situations. Yeah. So it kind of broke the relationship between me and my dad, to be honest with you. But it was good having him there as a mentor. You know what I mean? That probably got me to where I am today. You know what I mean? Without that, I don't think I'd be where I am.
So if you walk me through that day that your dad had a stroke.
Yeah. So he had it was Boxing Day.
Oh,
and,
wow.
We was off work, like work was closed down, like we was all chilling. And bang, out of nowhere, stroke hit him, life-threatening. So I thought I was going to lose him. So automatically, my first kind of, it was a difficult time, bro, because the first I thought that obviously his life is the most important thing. I didn't want to lose my dad. You know what I mean? Because the amount of work we put in together, we just built this. Like I'd put my savings into it. He put his savings into it. We literally put our heart and soul into this. So I've lost my business partner, number one, and number two, my father. You know what I mean? Like he's potentially, going to die, or if he's going to survive, I didn't know. And he was in intensive care for a long time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was a tough time because then I had to step up. I had to step up in the business, even though we shared, he gave most of the bigger responsibilities to me, when I joined. But at the end of the day, having him there, that was a big missing element. And as you said, he was such a big personality.
Such a massive, massive personality he was.
Yeah. So missing him here, I think he was in hospital for about 4 or 5 months. For the first 2 months, 3 months, he was just a vegetable, bro. He wasn't even, awake, or you couldn't speak to him. So the doctors were had him on, on ICB units. They had him on what they call the ventilators.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't he wasn't there. So I didn't know what the outcome was going to be at that time. So I just had to stay strong, for him, for us, to make the business survive, just to carry everything that we'd achieved and done.
It's crazy to think that while that's going on, you still are a son, you still are a business owner, you still have to keep things ticking over.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine what that's like.
Yeah. It was tough, man, because like I said, it wasn't just stepping up to the plate in business. It was also stepping up to the plate as a family man. I had to take care of my mom, I had to take care of my sister, make sure their bills are paid, because, essentially it was, my dad and myself that used to provide that, but now it's all me. So that was a tough seat to fill, man. But, we with dedication and hard work, I just, it was a bit sad, but like I said, the very first day that I thought I nearly lost my dad, I was at work the next day, man. I had to be, otherwise I could have just collapsed. I had an enormous weight on my shoulders, we just renovated. So we'd invested nearly probably £250,000 into the business.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I had that debt, just on top of me. You know what I mean? So I knew I couldn't.
Heavy burden.
Yeah, that's a heavy burden.
Every angle,
man. So I had enormous weight on my shoulders.
Do you feel that you handle pressure good?
Yes.
Is that like your comfort place?
It is, yeah. I feel like with me, the way I work is I need pressure to proceed. I need pressure to go forward. If I don't have any pressure or if I don't have any stress, then I'm stressed. You know what I mean? So if the water's all calm, you know what I mean? I'm not really like it's an easy ride. I'm swimming nice, but you know, if you're in the water and it's waves and crashing ocean, you're working.
Do you think that from like childhood that you've always had pressure then?
No.
Okay.
I think it came as a gradient. Yeah, I think I had quite an easy childhood, really. You know what I mean? Like my dad gave me a lot. You know what I mean? He put a lot of things. He put food on the table. You know, everything I wanted, I had it. I was kind of like a spoiled kid. You know what I mean? But then later on in life, I had to understand how that was the case.
How, yeah,
you know,
the education.
That what made my life become that. You know what I mean? How was it that my dad was able to afford these things to provide me? And, you know, the way I look at it now is I want to do that for my own children. When I have a son, you know, one day I want to give him the best life possible, which we all do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was a gradual thing. It was a gradual thing, like, you know, but my dad, he got me in at a young age and he was very tough on me. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, you know, you just sit there in the office.
Do you remember like one specific thing that he did that you was like, wow, that was hard?
Yeah, actually. So back in the day when I was probably 13 years old, you know, I didn't have a clue about money or nothing. Like, you know, I was just a kid, man. You know what I mean? Just a carefree kid. But he got me down the unit, one of the garages, and he got me on the phones, man. He's like, listen, I want you to phone. We've got this job coming in. Say it was, I don't know, an alternator on a car, yeah? He would just throw the phone at me, throw a bunch of numbers at me and say, listen, I want you to price up an alternator for this car. This is the registration. Go get it. So I'd phone like about 7 suppliers. So I'd be like, yeah, Dad, this is the price. I've got an alternator price from there. He's like, okay, cool. Went back to him. No, that's not good enough. I want brands. I want to know what part you're putting into.
Expectation high in it from the get-go.
So, you know, he did that on purpose, though, to teach me. You know what I mean? So he was like, oh, the price is not good. What are you buying? What brand is it? You know what I mean? So then I would make another phone call to all them 7 people. So, but I'm really sorry, like I'm embarrassed, but I need to know the brand that you just priced me on. Oh yeah, you know, it's a Saks unit or LUK unit, whatever brand it is. Yeah, and so then I'd go back to him. And what I realised, without realising at the time, was the cost and negotiation. So obviously I was playing suppliers off each other, getting the best price. You know what I mean? And that was just one job. But then when you multiply that over 6-7 jobs a day or 10 jobs a day, he actually created a salary out of that saving. You know what I mean? Like the saving that we made, it might have been like £2-3 saving, £4 saving. But you multiply that by 10 jobs a day, you know what I mean? That adds up over the week.
Yeah, it definitely does. It becomes its own position, isn't it?
That's it.
That's crazy that is, to see the mind of such a man like your father.
Yeah. That's it.
And how that impacts yourself as well.
Yeah.
You know, what was it like for your dad to walk back into New Cross Motors after suffering this?
Yeah, he was proud, man.
Really?
Yeah, he was proud because, you know, he knew it was such a monumental task for me alone to do it. You know, I'm quite proud of myself for doing it, but, you know, like I get proudness out of my parents being proud for me. That's all I really want in life, man. Make your parents proud, innit? That's what we all want. So he's got, you know, like his backseat, you know, like he still wants to get involved. That's the maddest thing. Yeah, he still wants to do things and, you know, like he's a hustler. You know what I mean? So he's used to that hustle. He's used to the grind. You know what I mean? So he wants to be here. But him coming in, he's a good mentor for me because I can talk to him. You know what I mean? I can discuss issues with him. If there's problems in the business, I can go to him. So he's really the only person I can really talk to about it.
He's like your voice board.
Yeah, 100%.
It's important again, man. Listening to the right people is crucial.
It's
about that network thing, isn't it? Like we spoke about earlier. How important is it for you to network?
Oh, 1,000,000%. You need to make sure you have the right people around you. You know what I mean? That is make or break. You know what I mean? Because if you've got the wrong person giving you the wrong advice, you're going to go in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? If you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, you know, they're ambitious, they've got passion, and they genuinely want to help you. You know what I mean? Like going back to what we said about the car situation, we wanted to help you. You know what I mean? So that's our outlook on life.
You can read that from a mile away.
Yeah.
Like when we look at like social media, like what's your views on social media?
I personally think it's all a facade.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's become a bit crazy. I mean, for me, social media is great because it's a good networking tool. You can put brands out there. You can share your business, which is fantastic. But there's two sides to it.
Definitely.
So you've got the business side of it, and then you've got the personal side to it.
Yeah.
So
flashing the big brands,
that's
and
the thing, man.
living a lifestyle that's probably not even that real.
Yeah. That's the thing. So it's what I look at as social media is everything's just like sugar coated. It's the best thing. You know what I mean? It's almost like a social media CV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're not necessarily going to put the bad points on there. You're going to put all the good points on there. So that can often mislead people. And the thing is with that, over the years, expectations have risen.
So high.
Yeah. And comparison has risen.
So high.
You know, I used to do it myself. I used to look at social media and think, oh my God, look at that guy, man. He's got flipping driving 458 Italia Ferrari. Like, you know what I mean? Little did I know that guy is actually in debt.
Extremely in depth.
You know what I mean? So like it's you can't take social media at face value. Never.
You definitely can't. Like I got through phases. I go through phases, I should say, where I just deactivate my social media accounts.
You have to, man. You have to detox.
Yeah. And I think because kind of like yourself, like for business, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
But as part of my business, for me to grow it, I also have to follow people.
100%.
You know,
which is why it's important.
Which is why it's important.
I mean, again, like social media is important for us as a business because it allows us to connect.
Yeah, that networking.
You know what I mean? It allows us to connect with the customer, reach an audience, reach potential new customers. So it is a voice. You know what I mean? It's a tool. The way I look at it is a tool. So, you know, if you're on social media and, you know, you've got a business, I think it's important to create a brand, man. Like create a brand on there and pursue it. You know what I mean? And you want to be liked for the right
for reasons. For the right reason. It's very important. As I said, like for me, when I'm following people and I'm seeing how they are publicizing, like I'm in fitness, you know what I mean? And a lot of people argument that people have around fitness is that they think that they can do whatever they want and that they're going to lose weight and get a result. Actually, when we dive into how you live your life, the reasons why you're not getting in shape is because the habits that you've created outside of the gym, outside of you prepping your food 1 or 2 days a week, aren't healthy.
Yeah.
So as much as you're portraying yourself to be fit, strong and healthy in the gym, if you're out every single weekend, if you're not taking any accountability for what you're putting into your body and what you're doing with your body, you can't expect magically for you to be in the best shape of your life.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And definitely like from a mental perspective as well. Like it's something that a lot of our guests cover on our podcast about mental health. Like what's your views on mental health? Like have you ever suffered with?
I haven't personally suffered with it, you know, mental health, but it has like touched the surface. There has been points in my life where I thought, wow, like, you know, going back to that stroke situation, the pressure, you know what I mean, was great. So, you know, but then I realized like if I let this control me, then I'm only going to go one way. I'm going to go down. You know what I mean? So I had to like talk myself out of it almost, talk to myself, you know what I mean? Like manifesting.
What is that process of talking? Like, what do you do? What are you saying?
So it's, you know, like I was very quiet, man, when, you know, when something really bad happens, like, you know, my dad, like nearly lost his life. I had to go really quiet and just observe like what's going on, you know, and have a plan. You know what I mean? You can't go forward without having a plan. So I had to sit down and break things down. Okay, what are my new responsibilities with him not being in the picture? What do I need to do? How do I need to support my family? You know, I had to put all that together, you know, so yeah, I mean, I guess I had to just become a stronger person. So, but I can see how mental health can, you know, destroy people. It's a really violent.
Do you think that you had to become a stronger person, or you was already stronger anyway, because it was already inside you?
It was inside me, yeah. But I think I'm a strong believer of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Massive.
You know what I mean? So, in life, in anyone's life, you know, not mine, like a normal person, you're going to go through turmoil. There's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be, you know, like disasters that are going to happen. Yeah. There's going to be crashes and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, you've just got to live life and expect those things to happen. If you're expecting a perfect life,
it doesn't exist.
And this is going back to social media because it's created this image of the perfect life.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So, and like, life's great. Life's amazing. Like it's as great as you want it to be. You know what I mean? But you're in the driver's seat. You've
100%.
got full control of, you know, your outlook of life, how you view things, how you deal with certain things. You know what I mean? So I think social media and mental health have a big correlation.
Yeah.
I think the expectation of social media has risen so high.
So high.
And the mental health side of things, when people aren't matching that high demand.
Yeah.
That's what could be causing a lot of friction.
Conflict,
between,
friction,
100%.
Lack of identity.
100%.
At this certain age, I should be here. Well, that's just social media telling you that.
That's the thing, you know what I mean? And the thing is, if you're not on social media, even not being on there, not being present, and you're looking at it, I know a lot of people are on it and they don't post anything, and they're looking up at social media and think, okay, that's the actual where I need to be.
That's the bar.
Yeah, but that's not the case at all, man. Like,
you know, when you made the analogy about being in the driver's seat, it's very ironic, you know, as you are a business owner of a garage, you know, you literally look at a car as life.
100%.
And it's crazy. Have you always thought of it like that?
In terms of life, how do you mean? Like,
so you gave the analogy about, you know, if you're in the driver's seat, you're in control.
Yeah.
Have you always made that correlation between both?
Yeah, I think it's more of a control aspect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're in control of the vehicle, you know, you're not going to crash it.
Yeah,
you know
mad.
what I mean? If you're uncontrollable,
mad.
You know what I mean? But if you're not in control of it,
yeah, crash.
You're putting it into a tree.
Yeah,
you know
danger.
What I mean? Yeah,
danger.
So that metaphor, you know what I mean? That's where I was kind of leaning on. You know what I mean? So you need to make sure you establish control, and you have control of your emotions, and you know, because you could have a bad day, your mind could be elsewhere. You could be driving a car and bang, you hit a tree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So essentially, it's about controlling the mind.
Yeah. Do you like meditate, or do you like take any time out for yourself?
100%, man. That's important.
What do you do?
Yeah, so I like fitness is a big thing.
Massive.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the fittest person in the world, but I'm not necessarily going into the gym to get a six pack or like, you know, big guns. It's more so having my space. You know what I mean? That alone is such an important thing. And when I don't do it, it's like, you know, that then I can start feeling the pressure. You know, I'll start feeling like, yeah, different things, because like, it's just, you need to have a time out, man. It's me time.
Yeah, it's definitely very vital to dive into that. But I feel like I don't want to jump too fast with this. I want to really jump into how you became, like how you got to this point, the success, the struggle. Like, can you walk me through that process? Like, did you, when you were younger, did you always believe that this, what we see, what we're sitting in, how beautiful it looks, did you believe that this was possible?
Definitely not. Definitely
no
not.
way.
Yeah, so I was actually on a different path. Like, yeah,
Mad.
so I went to uni, I got a degree, and I had no idea that I would actually be in this business. Yeah, so it was like my degree was in marketing.
Okay.
So I was passionate about, you know, uplifting businesses, like small businesses, branding. That was my element. You know what I mean? That was my thing. And like I said, I was always involved in cars. I was always on the scene, you know, coming here as a youngster, being around cars. Like, that was my passion. You know what I mean? So, once I got my degree, I was working, you know, away. I was working in London, down south.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I went to Bournemouth Uni and stuff. So yeah, I was always on that path of pursuing a corporate career. That was the end goal. You know what I mean? I wanted to go up the corporate ladder and stuff like that. But then what I found was I was always attached to this business.
Yeah.
So I just had an attachment to it that I couldn't break. You know what I mean? And I was putting in 100% with these other companies. I was giving them 110%, like always. Whatever I do, I'm going to give it 100%.
Yeah.
You know, whether I dislike the job, whether I like the job, it's still going to get 100% my attention, because it's a paycheck, man. You know what I mean? So, and that's what people deserve. You know what I mean? If people have employed me, I see it as a blessing. So that, you know, that I got a job pretty much straight away out of university, which was very lucky. And I think it's because
work rate.
Yeah, the work rate was strong. I was passionate, and, you know, I just wanted to get my hands in. So, and yeah, what happened was I had an attachment back home.
Yeah.
You know, like,
you were in Bournemouth and you still had attachment back home.
Yeah, man, I was always like kind of working on the business, even when I was there, you know, branding it. And
okay.
So years ago, believe it or not, Sam, we didn't even have a brand.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we didn't even have a brand. It was just New Cross Motors, no image, no logo, no color scheme, no nothing. And I was looking from the outside, but that gave me an opportunity to look from the outside. Yeah. So, you know, looking in, back into our business, I was looking in and thinking, well, hang on, like, there's no brand, there's no website, there's no like color scheme. We're just a building. You know what I mean? And my dad, respect to him, he hustled it. You know what I mean? He made it work. It was obviously we're an independent garage, but we didn't have that image, that corporate image, and we looked a bit backstreet back in the day, so it wasn't very inviting for customers. So ultimately, when I made the decision to come back, I looked at my dad and said, you know what, we've got work to do.
Yeah. Yeah, you put that degree to use.
That's it. Yeah.
And we can see here how the role that you took was the perfect role to take.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you created, you know, as you speak about when you were ringing round and you are comparing prices, and it from the back of you comparing prices created a position.
Yes.
You created a position for it to grow. And when we look at like the mechanics of the car, like there's multiple gears in a car.
Yeah.
And you took it from gear 1 to gear 2 to gear 3. And now it's like, I don't know, there ain't enough gears to even speak about anymore. It's constantly progression, and that level of work rates is unmatched. And I really do believe that expectation that your father set for you from the get-go, like that is so important.
Yeah, I think I've been very lucky to kind of have him, you know, there as, you know, we worked together, like I said, you know, like I don't think I would have had the input if I wasn't here. You know, that could have been the same backstreet garage if I wasn't here. I don't know. But, you know, he was good at, you know, the hustle, the grind, you know what I mean? And then combined together, we were just machines, man. Like we just put it together and it was just like, yeah, crazy.
What do you think the hardest choice you've had to make so far? Like what was the hardest choice to be successful where you are now? What was the hardest choice that you've had?
I would say, you know, getting that degree.
Yeah.
Getting that degree, going into a corporate life and sacrificing it, because it was a big risk.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? It was a
How
big
much
risk.
debt is that?
I mean, you got your uni debt.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, your fees back then, I think they were 5,000, 4,000 or 5,000 per year. And then you got your uni, say £10,000 a year. So I came out of uni with 30 grand debt.
Yeah, mad.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Sacrifice that straight.
Yeah, so I'd only just got into corporate working, you know, started working and stuff like that. So it's a big risk to leave that. How am I going to pay for that debt? You know what I mean? You know, ideally, I want to go straight into workplace. And when I joined, you know, I had to earn my way into the business. It wasn't just like, yeah, there you go. There's your pot of money. There's your salary. It wasn't the case. I had to earn my way up, like going back to the pricing thing. So I was doing that like for years. You know what I mean? I'd built up enough, you know, profit into the business to be able to afford a salary. And it was only when I got the approval, when I'd added enough value to the business, where I got the salary in this business. So believe it or not, I was here working for like nothing for a couple of years. Yeah, sometimes you have to make that sacrifice. So it was a big risk. But then at the same time, I came home and, you know, I was living at home. I was under my parents' roof. So from then it was just like a stacking process, you know, start saving, invest the money back into it. And here we are today, bro.
Yeah, it's interesting because many people will be looking at this thinking that daddy just gave you a handout.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, when he had his stroke, like I said, it was 50-50. It was him and me together. You know, I added the value. He put the grind in initially. He created the foundation, essentially.
100%.
You know, he did found the business. He was the founder. So, but then when he had his stroke and he wanted out, it was a tough call because we didn't know what to do, because he was obviously director, I was director. So what happened ultimately, I literally wrote my dad a blank check to buy the business off him. So, yeah.
Crazy. It's, as I said, like from the outside looking in, everyone will have their interpretation of how you got here.
Yeah.
It's very obvious that how you got here is through hard work.
100%. Yeah. A lot of sacrifices, risks. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'd sacrificed the whole career that I could have took off in. You know, I could have been on good numbers there. You know, like at a point I was doubting the decision because I could have pursued that easily. But then, you know, with the business here was starting to increase. It was taking off. And I could see the pressure that my dad was under. And I didn't want to let him handle that pressure on his own. Yeah. So that's why I stepped in. All
right, but let's talk about like this self-doubt. Like, tell me times when you've self-doubted yourself.
Yeah, 100%, bro. That's an interesting topic because there's been a lot of times where you self-doubt yourself in business. You know what I mean? Don't forget, we're working with like staff members, customers, and, you know, that pressure alone, you know, having that responsibility, you always question yourself if you are that person. Because, you know, when you're employing staff, for example, you know, you've got to be their mental health coach.
You've got to be literally everything for them.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to kind of look out for their health and well-being before your own. You know what I mean? So you have to ask yourself the question, are you that person? And it's yeah, 100%. There's been times where I've doubted myself many times.
And it's the thing, like, people don't really think about how that impacts your personal life.
Oh, yeah. So me putting others' needs in front of my own, you know, for example, my girlfriend, you know what I mean? Like her kind of needs are kind of put aside, which is created, divisions in the relationship.
Of course, it creates that tension.
Yeah. More so, not because I'm ignoring her, but because like the fact that I have to put my attention into my staff.
Has to be first.
Yeah. Have to put make sure they're feeling 100%, make sure they're turning up at work, make sure they're doing the job correctly. It's all quality control as a business.
How does that impact like your mental health perspective?
It takes a toll, bro, because like I said, you kind of have to become emotionless sometimes. Like you just become this,
robot.
Yeah, robot, and like there's no emotions in it. Obviously, you do have to put some sympathy into whatever's going on with work and stuff. Like there's our staff members, they might be bringing issues into work,
and you've still got to deal with that as well.
And we have to deal with it. We have to sit down and we have to talk to them. We have to understand them. So we almost become like a mental health coach for our staff. Yeah, 100%.
Did you think that was always going to be the case?
Nah, I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? Like having a business, like the whole idea in having a business is obviously get out there, make some money.
Idea of success, really, isn't it? It's crazy.
But then when you as the business grows, which we've grown like dramatically, we've got 5-6 members of staff now. So you're basically responsible for each of those persons. So, whether they're having a bad day, you got to pull them aside and talk to them about it. You know what I mean? I've got an apprentice and, I've got to make sure he's on track if there's anything going on at home.
You've still got to overlook that as well.
So the mentorship that I had from my dad, I have to give that to my staff. You know what I mean? So
Very important.
It's give and take. You know what I mean? So that's one of the most important things you have to manage as a business owner.
Well, like your idea of success, maybe not your idea of success, but people's idea of success is like overnight.
Oh, yeah.
What's your views on that?
So, success is a funny thing. You can't really measure it. You know what I mean? Like if it was like a graph, it would be like up and down. You know what I mean? So, but it takes years, and there's been times where you just want to give up. You've not made enough money this month, or you spent too much this month on parts and suppliers and stuff like that. And you come out on the other side of the month, you're like, bloody hell, I've made a big loss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then the next month you might have a good month. So it swings and roundabouts, bro.
It's crazy because like there's a saying that says it takes 10 years to break even.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But I mean, if you're just starting a business tomorrow, you're investing in a building, equipment, staff members. There's so much big investment to come first that you might not even be making your profit for about 5 to 10 years.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? So that is a big risk. It's a big risk which only pays off later on in life. I don't believe in overnight success. I really don't. I think it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of dedication to actually achieve it in the long run.
When you're well experienced now, you've been doing this for quite a long period of time. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be watching this that are new to starting their business. Like, what advice would you give to those people?
My advice would be willing to take a risk and carry it. If you made a decision, back your decision. You know what I mean? If you've made a decision to quit your job, like I did, I quit my job, and it was a big risk. 3 years
at uni.
3 years at uni, big investment, 30 grand down.
30 grand down.
You know what I mean? Like, so it was a big risk. But if you're going to take that risk, carry it, man. Carry it all the way. There's going to be bad times. There's going to be good times. There's going to be, times where you doubt yourself, like you said, and it's part of the process.
It's been an honor, bro, to have you on here. There's one specific question that we ask everybody who sits in that chair, and it is, you're 32 years of age right now. What would you ask a 16-year-old version of yourself?
I would ask him, is he ready for life? Take a risk.
Mad.
Yeah, man.
Crazy that is.
And don't get too comfortable with life. You know what I mean? Like, be observant.
What do you mean by that?
So, being in your comfort zone, for me, necessarily, that's not a good place. Having an easy life isn't having a successful life. So there's different ways of measuring success. To someone else, successful might be having £1 million in a pot. But to someone else, it might be having a nice family. So it's work-life balance. You know what I mean? Like, and one thing I need to work on is work-life balance. I don't have a good work-life balance at the moment.
Why do you think you don't have that?
Because of my dedication to the business. I mean, it will get better over time. I like to be like in the driver's seat, in control. When I find someone that I trust and they can manage a certain aspect for me, then I could step back. But in the meantime, it's a grind.
Boss man, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you,
you again.